today, and we are here to talk to you about purpose. I find a lot of people our age and our generation, there's a massive switch happening where people want to feel aligned, they want to feel on purpose, and they just want to find something that makes them feel fulfilled and drives them forward in life instead of feeling empty and just moving through life. And I've definitely experienced this in my life, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So today we've got Natalie and Elena on the sofa with us.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like 80% of the people that I speak to are not happy with their life. So whether it's with their work or with their family or with their friends, 80% are actually not happy.
Crazy.
And there's only that small 20% of people that are actually really love their life and go around with a smile on their face. So yeah.
That's my address, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Dog's barking here.
So those 20% of people, do you find that those are the people that know what their purpose is, that have a purpose, that are driven by something, the ones that are happy and fulfilled?
Yeah, so I think those are the people that have got a vision or a why, like they've got a deep reason inside them why they want to do this. So whether it's like, for me, I just want to, help other people and maybe do something to pay my mum back. Like for me, I've got like small reasons to do different things.
But they're important to you.
But they're important, whereas somebody would have like a massive reason and what their purpose is and their why is.
That sense of fulfillment.
But yeah, that 20% of people just have that something, and I think it is vision, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely vision. I think when people know where they're going, like I said earlier, like that moving through life, you kind of feel lost, you don't know where you're going. And I think for me, like you just said, you've got those little things, and I think even those little things make a difference that are personal to you, but then having that even bigger vision as you grow. So for me, it just started as having a vision for my family and my, close friends, but then it moved to actually I could impact and help people in this world that don't have maybe opportunities that we have. So this is a really great subject, I feel, that when people say, if time and money was, no object, what is it you would do? So I'm going to pass this question on to both of you. So maybe start with Elena.
Yeah, and for the people at home as well, I would encourage you to have a bit of paper and a pencil and actually just write this question down. So if time and money were no issue, what would you be doing with your life? And I think it encourages us to actually dream a little bit, because people forget to dream these days, and actually you should be, because you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. If you can think it, you can have it. So yeah, Eleanor.
Oh, I love this question so much. So I've always been a huge dreamer ever since I was a little girl, like literally a huge dreamer. Nothing was out of the question. I dreamt of being on that red carpet, like having my own clothesline, to the point where I even branded my own clothesline. I'd be like, my adult's clothesline is going to be called Eleanor Beth, and then my children's clothesline is going to be called Ellie B's. And this actually is in my vision, and it totally will happen. And so I've always been a huge dreamer. Now I find myself quite fortunate, because there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to be a famous actress. I was going to be in movies, on TVs, on television. No doubt in my mind. And I still have that belief and faith now, and I'll get to that in a bit. So when I'm asked that question, it's always will be, I'd be acting all the time. That, for the pure love of it, I'll be acting and doing what I love. But over the years, it's absolutely grown. Like, my vision has grown huge, to the point where I want to be on stage. And I've been drawn to the stage, but inspirational speaking, worldwide international speaker, best-selling author. Like, my vision has just grown absolutely massive, and that is what I'll be doing. And I feel like a lot of people with purpose feel like they can only do one thing. I think it's quite important. If you feel like you can only restrict yourself to one thing in life, that's not true. You can do whatever you want. So it's like, you can't, the fact that I want to be an actress doesn't just mean that just an actress.
No.
I can be everything else that I want to be. You have so many things in life that you want to do, and go fulfill them all. And so yeah, that's what I would 100% be doing, travelling the world, just being on stage, and literally my purpose is to get people excited and relight the fire in people's bellies, and help them really dig out and hone in and find their purpose, which is what I'm so excited about today. When you said it was purpose, I was like, oh, my favourite.
So I've got a question for you. Why is that important to you?
Because when I was 19 years old, my friends all went off to drama school, and I didn't get into drama school. and I was at a place called Performance Preparation Academy in Guildford.
Okay.
And absolutely loving it, and I fell pregnant. And I remember this clear as a day. The instant I found out I was pregnant, I said to myself, well, that's my acting career over. I instantly shut off the dream that vision I had, shut off in an instant. This is why it's important to me. And I was like, I'm a mum now. I can't be an actress. I'm a mum now. I can't do this. This is my life now. Stay-at-home mum, housework, all sorts. To the point where I gave myself that title, I became that person. I lost all confidence. I didn't leave the house. But I just never felt fulfilled. It wasn't until years later when I miscarried, and I got a new sense of fulfillment in my life, in a sense of I picked acting back up again. Something came to me, and I was like, do you know what? I may as well just go for it. Just do some amateur stuff, and it really lit a whole fire in me. And I tell you something, like, your purpose will never leave you. It will be niggling at you all the time. You can go years, but there'll always be something. You'll think about it, it'll pop into your mind, and it will be that thing you think of that you wish you could do. That thing, oh, I wish I could do that, I wish you could do that. You have to look into that, you have to tap into that, because something is speaking to you, and it's usually your purpose. So for me, it was acting. It just wouldn't disappear. But I sought out something that was very devastating in my life. I found something amazing came out of it. I rebirthed my purpose and my fire, and relit that fire in my belly. And I just want to help people get excited and do that same thing.
Yeah. And what I find really interesting about what you just said there is, it was the same for me and a lot of people I know, is when you hit something, makes you hit a real low, and hit a low in life, it propels you upwards. And I definitely want to say this, to our audience, that if you're feeling in a low point, a stuck point, that actually sometimes this can be the birth. I almost see it like the phoenix, rising from the ashes. This can help fire you up to create what you want. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling low, just know there is a way out of that place, because it's really important for you guys to know that. So thank you so much for sharing and being, again, authentic and real and raw, and sharing that, because it can't be easy for you to share that. But also I know how passionate you are about wanting to inspire others, so that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, so just an action point for people at home. So just write down what you think your purpose is, but also write down what your why would be. So actually digging that little bit deeper and finding out the reason that you want to do that, whether it is something similar to what Elena said, or whether it's you want to support your family or your kids or whatever, but just digging that little bit deeper and just getting it out on paper. It might be a couple of sentences, you might not even know now what it is, and it will change over time, because I feel like what it is right now, even in 3 months' time, when your vision gets bigger, it will be totally different again. So write down your purpose, write down what your why is, what your reasons are for wanting to live this purpose.
Do you know what I find really useful as well, and I've done this more recently, is actually to get a big piece of paper and create a spider diagram almost, so what that is you want to do in the middle, and then just keep asking, why is that important to me, but why do I want that, and that almost peels away the layers. So every single time you ask yourself why again, you'll add something else on there. And it's really interesting to almost do a spider diagram, keep digging. Because sometimes the reason you think you want what you want is because you think that's what society says you should, when actually it could be something completely different.
So actually the first probably 3 or 4 things that you actually write will not be the real reason, will it? It will be when you actually get to that 6th or 7th reason. That will be when you actually find your true why.
You'll know, because you'll connect with it on a deeper level. So I want to pass over to Natalie.
So for me, I've always known what I wanted to do from a young child. Like from the age of 12, I always knew that, I wanted to be a hairdresser. I wanted to own my own salon. I suppose you could say I have got my dream. I do have a salon, and but it came to a point in my life where I did hit rock bottom. Well, to me, I'm sure other people have other things that are a lot more worse, but for me, it was like, depression, anxiety, which don't want to get emotional about. But yeah, it's not something that I ever thought that I would I would get to. Sorry, gosh.
It's okay to get emotional.
Let me have some wine.
But this is the thing, like that's why we want to do this as well, is because there's so many people at home that are feeling this way, but actually they don't have anyone to speak to about it, or they don't even acknowledge it sometimes themselves. They don't even know like where it's came from. So
you do feel very lonely.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so I am quite a strong person. Generally, if anyone knows me, I am. And it's not that I put it on. I feel like I naturally am. And when I come to that point, it was sort of like, whoa, what's happening to me, you know? And then it came to a point where, you know, I needed help. You know, I'd had my second child. My salon had been open for a year. I was just kind of like, what am I doing? Like, and that's probably why I got the anxiety and got the depression.
But see, like people looking on the outside wouldn't have saw that at all. Would they? Like they would have seen that you're so successful, you've got your family, you've got your kids, and not actually realise what's going on inside.
But actually, I was struggling like really badly. And then it came to a point in my life where I needed to sort my mental health out. Definitely. You know, I was dealing with things and I was very overwhelmed and I didn't know how to cope with that. And then, that's when I did 30 days and it just really helped my mental health and everything. And then, and basically now, if I don't do my miracle morning, so a miracle morning is when you just have that hour to yourself, or even half an hour, or even 15 minutes, but it's just all about making sure that whether you're a mum or whether you've got a busy life, stressful life, that you just have that time before anyone's awake, just to kind of like have meditation, even if it's just 5-minute meditation. You know, I'm a Christian, so I pray and then I do affirmations. You know, and there's so much that you can do. You can do a bit of exercise, because that obviously releases endorphins, which make you feel good. It could be literally anything that makes you feel good. You can just list them and just make sure you do that within that hour, and you'll find that it really uplifts me and makes me feel like I can organise my day.
100%. And actually, I just want to touch on this. We will definitely do an episode about the miracle morning and what that is and how it works, because that really does make a difference. That's made a huge impact on my life. I know it'll be the same for Eleanor as well. It's something that a lot of us implement and has made a massive difference. So I definitely think we should do an episode about this.
And this is all about action. So again, just write that down. So miracle morning, you've got meditation, visualization, putting on your favourite music for 10 minutes and dancing around the room, reading 5 pages of a book that you love, or a personal development book. So we will put some comments below on books that we all recommend, and maybe at the end we can all say 1 or 2 books that actually would help people. But get all this written down, and from tomorrow morning just set your alarm 45 minutes early and actually just get up and do it. Because it really does make an impact. It does help.
I mean, I do mine at 5 because obviously my kids wake up at 6:30. But I mean, any amount of time, just dedicate it just for yourself, and just make sure that you've got that time. Because otherwise, it makes such a difference in your day and how 100%. It goes. And especially if you organise, if you've got like loads on your mind as well. There's another thing that I do. So I'll write down everything that I need to do for the next day. Like, let's say, like before you go to bed, you're kind of thinking, I need to do this, I need to do that. Write it down and then just forget about it. And then you can just open it up in the morning, and then you can be like, okay, this is what I've got to do. And then you plan that as part of your miracle morning. So
I think that's really good. You do that, don't you? You actually write things down and then you close it and then you stop thinking about
sleep.
it.
You're just like, I need to do this tomorrow.
You dream about it.
That's so true.
That's what's amazing though. Like the miracle morning, it's about getting up, like that intention setting part of the day, and leading back to purpose. It's intentionally. Setting that intention towards your purpose to fulfill your purpose, whatever that is. I feel that purpose is a sense of fulfillment within you. That is what you're here for, is to find that fulfillment within you. But it's also about, the miracle morning is also about intention setting the night before. So the night before, you would go to bed with the expectation and intention of waking up to work towards and connect with your higher self towards
with that purpose
your
and goal.
purpose, with that purpose and goal. And that's what's exciting. Great thing I learned not long ago. I went to this event and it was absolutely amazing, and I learned a fantastic tip for meditating.
Yeah.
So it's called brain dumping. So you will close your eyes, you'll put your timer on for a minute, you will close your eyes and you will think. So everything that comes into your head during that minute, you just let it be, pass through. When the minute's up, you open your eyes, notebook, you write down everything that comes to your head. Get it out, just get it out, get it out. It's called brain dumping. Get the words out. No matter what they could be meaningless words to you. You make no sense whatsoever, but get it out.
Yeah.
Reset your timer for another minute. Do exactly the same. Repeat it, get it all out, and you keep going until there's nothing there, and then you have a look at what you've got written down, and it makes sense, and there'll be a few things that speak to you that stick out clearer than the others, and like these are the things you need to prioritise, and there'll be others that you realise, you know what, that's actually not that important, I can wait, that can actually hold off. But it really, if you're somebody like me, I don't know about you girls, but I can be an overthinker, I can have a million thoughts going through my mind in a second, and it's such a helpful tip for easing that. It's a great thing to add into Miracle Morning.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. Yeah. But what do you feel? Do you feel like since you was talking about how you hit this low point and you did taken these action points, and do you feel like your purpose has moved? Do you feel like it's shifted?
Yeah. So it did make me feel like, because I always thought, even from a young age, probably I can think back to about the age of 6.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I had kind of a spiritual connection to something. Yes, I am a Christian, but that wasn't the thing that I, was connected to, because obviously I didn't understand it then. But I still have other spiritual connections that throughout my life I kind of feel like, like there's something there, or but I now feel like I need to share, even like what we're doing now, share with people my experience, even if it's just me listening, in my job, because I am a hairdresser. People tell me all sorts of things that I don't even know sometimes, but it's sort of like, even someone said to me the other day, oh, you should be a therapist, because so she told me that she had anxiety, and she was like, I've had it for ages, and then we started like digging deep back to like her childhood and stuff, and because she obviously felt comfortable to tell me that, and then and I was like, well, maybe it's because of this, because of that, this is what you could do, and then I told her about the Miracle Morning and how it helped me, and how, I had that, and I have actually got through that. So, I just want to say that you can actually get through these things. It's all about, it is choices in life that you make, and if you dwell and overthink on things, it can be quite kind of overwhelming, and you're like thinking and you don't know what to do with all these thoughts, and it's like what Ellen was saying, just brain dump it. just do that, like even if you think, oh no, it's stupid, just do the things that you think might not work, but they actually do. Like I never thought I'd do a Miracle Morning, but now I feel like really strongly that I really want to help people in whichever way that I can, and if it is me just talking now and sharing this, or any way, just having that listening ear, then
that's amazing. And do you feel that's important to you? Because I feel like they've kind of come in a circle there. It's important to you because of where you hit, so that you know that you've moved through that you can help others move through that as well. And I feel like that's for both of you, really.
Yeah, because it's a similar thing, isn't it? Like I think for me, when from the age of 12, I've always known what I wanted to do, but it was more about what I wanted to do. Yeah. And now my whole purpose has changed, because through what I've decided to do, I'm actually helping people, whether it's just making them look beautiful with their hair, or listening so much more to them, or even sharing what I've learned through my like self-development. It's sort of it's totally flipped. But I feel like I'm kind of back to where I should be, if you know what I mean. Like I feel a lot more comfortable now in my direction that I'm going than where I probably was and where I kind of got to. So.
It's really interesting. So for me, like, I definitely want to give a top tip on. It's funny actually, because I don't believe in accident, but I feel like my purpose came to me after I did this, and it didn't come in the way I kind of thought it would. But I wrote down. So I hit 25. I was on paper severely depressed, severely anxious. I was suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder. I was in a pretty bad place, and I didn't know where I was going. I felt like that whole lost moment where you just don't know where you're going. And moment, I say it was years to be honest. And I wrote a list. So this is definitely a top tip from me, and write this down and take some time to really work on this, is write down your top values that are important to you. The things that, again, if you weren't being paid for it, what would you do? What would you want from something? I wrote my values. So I wrote that I wanted to give back to the people, animals, the environment. I wanted flexibility and freedom to travel, to do the things I want to do. And I just wrote all these different things down that are important to me. And I thought, well, nothing like that exists at first. But I really think, write this down, because I actually did manifest a week later something that gave me all these things. I didn't recognise it at first, I'll be honest, but it gave me all those things. So, but even if it doesn't manifest in your life, if you write all these things that are important to you, what makes you happy, what would you actually want from a career or a job, or not even a career or job, a hobby, something that lights you up. Write all these things down, because that you'll find your purpose in that, definitely.
Yeah, and definitely to do with like your self-worth. I think that, like what you're saying about 80% of people, social media has such a massive impact on how you look at your life. If someone's doing well, like you can look at Instagram profile and then they've got this amazing life, and
the highlight reels.
It's just kind of like, it's not reality. That's not, I could put on anything now and people think that, oh yeah, she's doing this or she's doing that, know. But actually I'm not. I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, and then, then that does like nip away at your self-worth, because you start thinking, well, actually
comparison is the thief of joy. And I actually spoke about this recently on an Instagram story, funnily enough. So I went really quiet on Instagram because I was going for a week where I was moving through some things. And I went on the story and just said, you know what, people aren't necessarily sharing their downs, their struggles, because I guarantee every single Insta fit and all these things, people that have created success or look amazing, they've wanted to quit. They probably have quit at some point and come back to it. They would have been crying on the floor and they would have had challenges, but you don't see them. And then people go, oh well, how have they got this so easy? Oh, it's easy for them. When actually, and that's what I love about this show. This is what we're doing. This is what we want to share with people, is what people actually have to move through to get to maybe a positive and great place, but also that you can do that. You can go from a tough place in life and move through that, and it's a journey. You're always growing, you're always learning. Like, there's no end point, but there are challenges, and that's what we want to be real about, is the challenges, the things it takes to get there, because it isn't always easy. But if we always see that it's easy on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you see that, then you can't always see that you can move through those things yourself. And that's what we want to do, is share our kind of truth and our story about, and our tips about how you can actually you can get that, and you can achieve whatever you want to as well.
So on Instagram, not like, I think it was about a couple of months ago now, on my story, I was at a point, I was like, I am really authentic on my social media. I was like, am I actually? Can I be even more authentic? And so I done a story where I just had a breakdown in my car. So tears, my face, I was red. I was like this, I was like, I just want to share this with you guys. Not every day is an up day. But the response I got from that was amazing, because people did see that what they may see on my Instagram is all these exciting things, and that I am a really positive person. I am really jolly and happy, but it isn't always like that. We're human. You're a human being, and it is normal. And like you said, every successful that you see, like, we all do the comparison thing. It's like, oh well, they've had an easy, successful journey because it's just been all up, it's all been all smiles. Realistically, it's not. But I think if more people actually start showing their vulnerability, showing that it's been a really bad day today. I'm going to try and get it together, make the best I can out of it. But it's been a bad day. And it's okay to say that. It is okay to say those things.
It's real. It's just
I think
real
people
life.
appreciate that more these days, don't they?
Definitely.
It's the real stuff.
It's the authenticity.
People can't be bothered anymore with
No.
fake stuff. They just want real.
Real. They can see through the BS.
Basically. See through the BS. Totally do that. Everything
Yes.
right.
Let's do this. I'm totally up for that.
So I just want to, wrap up here. So I just want to ask you both, your top book, as we spoke about books that have had an impact on your life to move towards your purpose. And also, you might have to have a little think, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but also your top tip that's helped you to find your purpose as well. Testing you now.
I'll just put one book in there. So The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins is an amazing book. I'm sure you've read it.
So good. Great book.
For people that don't have time to sit and actually read books, get on Audible. You can literally just type it in, and I listen to an audiobook every morning now. So for about an hour every morning whilst I'm doing my makeup or like making breakfast, I will just have an audiobook on. And actually that has been the one thing that's helped me so much for the last couple of months is Audible. So The 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins. It's about actually getting up and taking action, and when you're not feeling like actually doing anything, it's counting backwards.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1,
go.
and getting up and actually doing it. And it's not just that, it actually rewires your brain as well.
It does.
So
it does.
there's a lot of science behind it of how it actually rewires your brain and gets you up and gets you moving. So check that one out. 5 Second Rule by Mel Robbins.
I think my top tip book would be Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Game-changing book that I wish I'd found since I could start reading, if I'm honest. I wish I found this book a long time ago. It's an absolute game changer. And also, oh my gosh, it's completely gone. This book. It's just totally gone. If you're somebody that suffers from anxiety, I was at a really low place in my life. It's called You Can Heal Yourself by Louise Hayes. You can heal your life. You can heal your life. You can heal your life, Louise Hayes. It was a book that saved me. It was a book that made me realise a lot of my own limiting beliefs, a lot of my limitations within me. It made me face the truth of how I felt about myself, and which was very, very tough to take at the time, but forever grateful for that book, because if I didn't, face all those things at the reality of what it was, nothing would have changed. Those are my top two
That book
books.
is funny actually, because I spoke about this book literally a few days ago, and it was the first personal development book I got, and I so wasn't ready for it. Because it is about accepting full responsibility, isn't it, for you've created your reality. And I was like, I do not create my reality. I am not in this place because of me. How dare they say it's because of me? But I've read it several times since, and it's when you're ready for it, it's incredible, and it is a life-changing book, definitely. Thank you so much.
So this is just one I just thought of, The Energy Bus.
That's a good book.
Because for me, I do struggle. I'm quite a reserved, laid back type of person, and I do struggle with like getting my energy to that level. Being that I'm a boss as well, like I need to always have great positive energy. And this tells you a story about a guy that basically he was so wrapped up in his own head that he just kind of was missing all the important things, his family, he was losing his team at work, all these kind of things, and it's quite relatable. It's quite a simple, very easy to read book, and it taught me a lot of how you've got to be present in that moment, and it's not being like fake or putting on anything, but just have your energy to whatever level that you need it to be to fulfill whatever you're doing. and have the courage to do whatever you're doing as well. So
I love that book.
Yeah,
it's such a good book. And for me, that was a book that I read really quickly because it's based on a story almost, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it takes you through the lessons. And it's one that I sometimes struggle to get caught up in a book, but with that one I did, and it is about you are the energy, and people follow you, and that's what is really important to me. It's about people stepping into their light. Don't be scared. Do that of what other people think of you. It doesn't matter, because if you're shining bright, then even in where people are in the darkness, they'll see you and they'll step into their light too.
You'll help them in that way by bringing their light out as well. So.
Definitely, even if they're not ready for it. And it's normally the people that maybe have objections to that is because you are shining something and then maybe they're not quite ready for, but it will affect them in a positive way. They just might not see it yet, which I really, really love. Yeah. So now I've got to think of my book, and I haven't actually been saying anything about my book. I've literally got a library of audiobooks and books, so it's really hard.
About the Earth is Hiring?
Earth is Hiring is really good. It's made a massive impact for me, but I'm trying to think of one that triggered something early on for the people that haven't quite reached that point for that book yet. Okay, I've got it. Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. I actually listened to this. I've read it and listened to it, but I love listening to it because it does feel like she's speaking to you. She's got an Australian accent, which I love. And it's such an amazing book. Like, it really... And this book is all about finding your purpose. And if you're not living your purpose, the ways you get kind of thrown off to kind of do the things that you're meant to do, and again, not listen to society. You've got to do the thing that sits here, and like you were saying in the beginning, niggles at you, and it's just there, and it won't go away until. And sometimes you have to get things chucked at you, literally from the universe, to be like, no, you're not on the right path yet. Come on, and to point you to that. So that's such an amazing book. But I recommend listening to that one. You can read it. Depends what you prefer. Some people prefer reading a book, some people prefer listening, but definitely such an amazing book.
Such an amazing book.
And I just wanted to say, think about your life and think, are you living your purpose? Think when you're, it's a bit morbid, but when you're not here anymore, have you left a legacy? Have you fulfilled your purpose in life? Just make sure that you are actually kind of, if you have those dreams and aspirations, go for it. You've got nothing to lose. And if it is going to be a struggle, you're going to get out of your comfort zone. Just go for it.
Yeah, because greatness lies at the other end of your comfort zone, doesn't it?
Massively.
So yeah, another tip is just do something. Try and do one thing a week.
Even little.
Yeah, like the tiniest thing, like go to the shops on your own, or go to the shops without makeup on, or like the small that's a big thing.
That's not a little bit.
That's a big thing. But yeah, just do one thing a week that steps out your comfort zone, and that is where you're going to find that greatness. And actually, you will feel that you want to do it more because you're going to create that energy inside you. You're like, oh my god, I did that, and that felt really good.
It feels good once you've done it.
Yeah, so like just
amazing.
One thing a week that steps out your comfort zone.
I just want to say about for the people that don't actually know about their purpose yet. So I'd done a poll on my Facebook the other day actually about life purpose. Ironically, I know, right? So meant to be here right now. And it was, what did I ask? I said, if you know your life purpose, will you tell me? And surprisingly, it's about half people said no. Half said yes, half said no. It was really strange. And I was like, why would people not want to tell me their life purpose? Why would you not want to share it? And it comes down to belief. Believe that you can actually do it. 100%. But I will say one thing, just know that every single person is born with potential. That is the one thing guaranteed. We are all born with potential. And so whether you think that you can't do it, or whether you've been told that you can't do it, or whether you think it's absolutely bonkers, that nobody will believe you, just think back, we are all born with potential. Yeah. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. We're born with potential.
So much
potential. Use that potential.
Yeah.
If don't you don't do it, who will?
Exactly. Exactly.
You are that thing going around in your head, and I know that there is something going around in your head right now. Write down what it is, get it on paper, think, and just take an action towards it. If you don't do this, will somebody else do it? And if somebody else does it, will they do it in a way that you will do it? Because I guarantee somebody else does it and they do it, you'll be like, that's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Only you can do this thing. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's
a great thing to end on.
Definitely. You know, we all. I like the question. If you were paid, I mean, not paid to do what you're doing now. If your income was to stop, would you keep doing that thing? And if not, then you need to find something that even if you weren't paid to do it, you would still do it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming and sitting on the sofa with us today.
Having us.
Hopefully, we've inspired a lot of people at home to get up and take action, even if it's just the first step into finding your purpose. So I would encourage you to leave a lot of comments below, questions we can ask each other. We'll get back in touch with you. Go through the Spiritual Productions Facebook page as well. And
subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe, because we want to keep doing this and giving you all of our knowledge and passion.
And hit the bell notification, so when a new video comes up, you'll get notified about that as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, cheers, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Love you. Bye.